Hey, what's up? Welcome to my channel. If you're new, don't forget to subscribe before you leave. If you're not, thank you so much for joining me in another video. I hope you enjoy it. Now let's begin. I'm going to show you how to do these matte nude almond shaped nails. If you're interested, keep watching. This is the basic shape we're doing. Let's begin. Going to start by sanitizing my hands and her hands. And now with my cuticle remover, I'm going to go ahead and push back the cuticles. She has a lot of extra cuticle that just builds up and that will cause lifting, so I have to take extra precautions and spend a lot of extra time cleaning them out properly. That way we don't get no lifting. So I'm just going to push them back first and try to remove as much as I can with the cuticle remover and the cuticle pusher. And then when it looks like I've done as much as I can, I'm going to go ahead and take a soft nail file. I'm going to use the 180 side of this 180, and I'm just going to buff out the shine of her nails, and I'm trying to get around in the cuticle area, but it's not really working. So I'm going to show you a tip of how you can get it out without using a hand file. I have this skinny bit on my drill, and on a very low speed I'm just going to go around the cuticle area, and I'm just going to gently remove the cuticles. Now, like I said, she had a lot of extra cuticle that wasn't coming off with just a cuticle remover, so I had to take this extra step to properly prep her nails. And then again, I'm just going to go and try to clean up whatever I missed. Then you want to make sure you clean the nails really good, and I'm going to place the tip. I'm going to use these stiletto tips to make it easier for shaping. And once you glue the tips on, you want to cut them to the size that you want. Again, I'm trying to do the shape and the length of the picture. And now I'm going to go ahead and file. I'm just blending in the tip. You want it to be level with your natural nail. It will just apply a smoother nail and a smoother base coat when I'm there. And I like to file off all of the shine of the nail to where it turns a matte white before shaping. That way I can see what I'm doing. Also, you see I have a white background. It was getting a little bit hard to see, so I was putting it behind my nails so that my skin tone color would show up, and I'm able to fix the shape how I like it. This is a rather tricky shape. If you are a beginner, be very careful because you can curve it to one side in one swipe of the file. So if you see I am rotating between the 100 and the 180 side, when I want to take a little bit more off, I will use the more coarse 100 side. But when I'm barely trying to file it, I will use the less coarse 180 side. So just keep that in mind. If you are a beginner, I would suggest you just using the 180 side. That way you just carefully, patiently file your shape. Because like I said, it could go totally wrong with one pass of the file. And I had her move positions, that way I could see it straight up and down. It was getting a little bit hard to do it from the side. And I'm just going to continue. I just file a little bit from each side. I don't focus just on one side and then try to match the other side. I go from side to side, back and forth, making sure that that point always comes out straight and it's not curved too much to one side. And again, the nails were kind of rounder, so I'm not going to point them too much. They're not a stiletto, they're an almond shape. So I just want to make sure that there's a slight point on there. I asked her if she liked them. She said yes, so I went ahead and I did the rest of the nails. And now I'm going to clean them and get ready for the gel application. I have my NSI gel primer. I do use 3 coats of it. I want to make sure I put enough, and that's what works for me. And because she's a problem lifter, I'm just going to go ahead and be on the safe side and apply the 3 coats to her. Now I'm going to go in with my IBD hard clear builder gel, and I'm just going to add a base coat. You want to do this as carefully as you can and try to get as close to the cuticles as you can. This video is sped up, but I do this extremely slow. I take really good care. I'm sorry. I take my time is what I was trying to say. And I just make sure that it is not on the skin. If it is, you can clean it up how I'm doing here. But my main focus is to get it as close to the cuticles as I can. And now, after I did that to all 4 nails, I went ahead and I did a full cure in my LED lamp. And now I'm going to show you how I build up the nail. I wanted to show you on a bigger nail than the pinky, so I just chose to do the pointer finger. As you could see, I take a bead of gel and I just focus it into the center of the nail where I want it to be the thickest, and then I float it a little bit back and then a little bit forward, and then I do a flash cure for 10 seconds. And as you could see, it's already starting to take its shape. And I like doing this in sections because I get more of a nice application instead of trying to work with a huge amount of gel. I prefer to just work in sections. So now you see me doing the tip, and then again I'm going to float that and just kind of even it out towards the cuticle area. If there are any missing parts, which I should have turned it to the side and showed you, it looked like it was indented, so I don't want that. I just fill that little area with gel, and I'm focusing on the middle and just making sure it's raised up enough. Again, this video is a little bit sped up, so I do go a lot slower than this. You take your time because it could be a huge mess if you don't. And once I see I like it, then I go ahead and I pop it back into the lamp for a flash cure. And then the last bead is usually just in the middle, in the apex area, to build it up, to make sure that it's thick enough to where it's not going to snap in the middle. So as you could see, I just gently dab it. I have this gel and it is pretty much self-leveling, and so once I just dab it a little bit, it will flow naturally and it will just level itself, and it will level out all those little tiny lumps that are in there from me poking at it. So I'm basically letting the gel do my job. And again, if there's any little areas that I think need a little bit more, I will do the string method and just float some string back and forth, and it will just self-level itself. And once I get the nail exactly how I want it and I think it's built up enough, I will go ahead and do a full cure or a flash cure and just move on to the next nail. You always want to clean the sides before to make sure you don't have any on the skin. And now that I've done all the nails, I'm just going to show you how I file them. I like taking the file on the sides of the nails and I like to thin those sides out and kind of make them flat. And then I don't worry when I'm doing the gel application about getting the application flush to the natural nail because I will just file it and it looks flush. So I prefer to just file the cuticle area instead of worrying about getting it all perfect. I prefer doing my nails a little bit thicker than what I would like them. That way I can just file them myself and shape them up how I like them. So I don't ever worry about the perfect application where you don't really have to file because I prefer to file them. And I'm just gonna go ahead and do the sides. I really didn't have much to do to reshape them. The application came out nice enough to where I didn't have to reshape very much. And this is the design we're going for. I just wanted to change it up and she wanted the almond shape, so that's what we're doing here. I have this gel polish from eBay. I did forget to film myself buffing out the nails, so you do want to take a buffing block and buff out the nails to make them smooth, and the application of the gel polish will just go on smoother. So here I'm just going to freehand the V shape into the nails. The first coat was really thin, so I'm not sure if you could really see it show up. But I just go and I follow the lines when I did the second and the third coat. And just make sure you have a nice even layer of gel polish, that way it can cure properly. And then I just went ahead and I painted the rest of the nails. I also add the V-shaped design onto the thumb, but I do not record that. I just figured you only needed to see it once. Now here is the second coat. You can see it is already a lot more opaque. I didn't really need the third coat, but I wanted to go ahead and do a third coat just to make sure. And as you can see, I'm just following the shape that I had already done, trying to stay in the lines. If you need to, you can use a small brush and some 91% alcohol to clean out the shape. And then I just did that to all the other nails, applied a thin even layer, and I did another full cure, and I added the third layer, and then I did a matte top coat. So here I am doing the second coat of matte top coat. I'm actually going to use this top coat to stick down the rhinestones. So once I get them where I like them, I had her put her hand in the lamp, that way they won't be slipping around. And I just did a flash cure, and now with more gel, I'm going to kind of build it up around the rhinestone. That way it just creates a barrier around it. That way they won't pop off. And now I'm just going to go ahead and top coat the rest of the nails. And after that, this is how they look. I really love how they came out. She really loved them. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below. If you have any requests or you want to send me a picture to recreate a nail design, go ahead and do that. My email is always in the description. Again, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next one.